He infected the brains of so many folks of distrust.
Yeah.
The media, it's the enemy of the people. He was the number one guy, the most famous person this planet has ever seen. The media, enemy of the people. The media, enemy of the people. The media, enemy of the people. Now this media is telling you something you don't like. Cool. Well, I don't need to trust them. I've been given Fox News mild distrust of Donald Trump not winning the election caused so many folks to move over to news that was more comforting to them.
Comedian and political analyst Jordan Klepper recently got into a heated argument with former President Donald Trump. The way Klepper used Trump's own words against him clearly infuriated the former president. Trump had what many have called a tantrum at the end of a heated debate with Klepper, who is renowned for his biting criticism and cutting wit. The exchange gained attention and sparked a contentious discussion about the former president's handling of criticism once it went viral.
It's locker room talk. That's what boys do. He didn't do it.
Well, I don't talk like that.
Well,
do you have any children?
I do.
Do they talk like that?
No, they don't.
So not those boys.
Well, no, not
Do you have a
those
husband?
boys. I do.
Does he talk like that?
No.
Not that boy.
No.
The Daily Show's temporary host, Jordan Klepper, shares his insightful insights after visiting with conservative people around the country to investigate how Fox News affects the beliefs of conservative voters. He notes how dissatisfaction with Fox's coverage during the 2020 election led to a noticeable shift away from Fox and towards Newsmax. He also emphasizes how Donald Trump contributed to the creation of a climate of mistrust in the media and the promotion of a limited worldview that adheres to personal comfort zones.
Trump gave folks a permission slip, effectively, to only do the things they wanted to, say the things they wanted to, believe the things that made them feel good. Without explicitly saying that, it was kind of like a hall pass for only doing the stuff that feels good to you, everyone else be damned.
Although Jordan Klepper, this week's co-host and correspondent for The Daily Show, has nicknamed the former president the undisputed king of pettiness for his recent outburst against Bill Barr during a late-night tirade, there was a silver lining, according to Ronnie Ching, Klepper's co-host, when Trump was back in a New York City courtroom for his hush money trial. Following months of denouncing Trump and arguing he was unfit to serve in government, former Attorney General Bill Barr said he would still support the candidate. As one might anticipate, Trump responded to Ching's revelation with grace. Trump posted the following on Truth Social. "Whoa, former AG. I may have called Bill Barr weak, sluggish, apathetic, cowardly, and lazy, but he just backed me for president. Barr let down a lot of amazing people by not looking into voter fraud in our country. New York Post, I appreciate you taking off the word lethargic from my message. Thank you very much for your total support. Bill MAGA, 2024 Klepper, who called the former president the king of pettiness, couldn't help but chuckle at his antics in a parallel realm. No doubt Trump was a sorority president, and he was full of shade." As Klepper continued, "Wow, Bill, I love that bikini you're so brave to be wearing that you go, girl." If Trump decides not to run for president again, he may inquire about job openings at Kappa Kappa GMA. Jordan Klepper discovered that, despite Trump's earlier declaration that he would only use these powers on his first day in office, some people were prepared to go to even greater measures in order to support him when he returned to the campaign road. During an appearance on The Daily Show with presenter Kermit Raines, this news was revealed. During the South Carolina event on Saturday, Klepper asked a fan if she agreed that Trump should rule as king. She acknowledged that she was, and claimed it was a wonderful thing that Trump was king. As Jordan Klepper put it, that's about as American as you can get. But in an episode of The Daily Show where the fervor of Trump fans was evident, she went on, "Any sarcasm appeared to have been lost. Yes, it is," she said. Someone even said that Trump ought to imprison half of the Justice Department's staff on his first day back in office. That sounds like a true dictatorship. "Yes," Klepper replied, but the man answered, "Well, no, it needs to happen." Then another woman said, "Let's get it done," endorsing Trump's dictatorship for the day. She continued, "He's not going to be like a Hitler dictator." To be more precise, the woman said, "More like a Melanie dictator." Aurelio made an attempt to defend Trump's racially incendiary comments about immigrants contaminating the country's blood in a separate exchange. Klepper said, "There you go, the man agreed. Yeah." Jordan Klepper, a Daily Show correspondent who frequently attends Trump rallies and was present during the January 6th incident in the U.S. Capitol, saw a far more tranquil scene than the former president had imagined. according to Donald Trump.
So we've been following this protest. We headed to the Capitol, and the Trump supporters just broke through the gates, and they're now heading into the Capitol right now.
However, among the Trump supporters who did stand, Kerr discovered some odd perspectives. One individual contended, for instance, that the former president could not possibly have a fair trial in a largely blue city such as New York. Where can I find a fair trial for Trump? In the Midwest, CLPP made inquiries in Ohio and Florida. They said, he's on trial in Georgia, he's on trial in Florida. This wasn't the only nonsensical interaction Klepper had with the president's followers. At least one host of The Daily Show is skeptical that the verdict in Donald Trump's ongoing legal proceedings will have any political impact. Will you accept the outcomes of those trials, as Klepper pointed out? The individual answered. Jordan Kerr recently spoke at Jon Stewart's desk about the latest happenings in Trump's hush money trial. She found out that Trump had violated the gag order once more. Juan Merchant has warned that Trump may end up in jail if his actions continue, regardless of the length of his sentence. A few days for breaking the gag order, or years for the hush money affair. After all, he will remain the next president. Everyone, have a look at the polls. It wasn't the only gag order joke. Klepper said that the joke won him boos from the studio crowd on Monday night. Longtime correspondent and temporary host Klepper mocked the judge's threat, pointing out that the court had already found Trump guilty of contempt for violating the gag order 10 times. The judge is actually going to consider jail time because, Donald, you have already violated the gag order 11 times, and there was a danger of jail time. Klepper replied, I mean, he's seriously thinking about the repercussions of your actions. Oh, just one more chance. Klepper claimed that Trump had a childlike mindset, and that if children know anything, it's that when parents start counting like 9, n.5, 9, and 3, 4, the child has already W. After stating that no judge wants to throw a former president in jail, Klepper said that Trump had a childlike mentality. Kerr claims that Trump has already experienced repercussions for disobeying his gag order. In a recent open session, the court determined that Trump was responsible for 9 previous breaches of the gag order, and that he had paid $99,000. Trump was also mandated to pay an additional $1,000 by the close of business. While Kerr handles the matter with comedy and sensitivity, Klepper helps a Trump fan who is duped into purchasing questionable products bearing the former president's name. This incident calls into question why Trump, in spite of his outward image of strength and bluster, may be privately pleading with Kerr to stop the public humiliation, possibly behind closed doors. It also illustrates the vulnerabilities and blind allegiance that can accompany political passion. Trump is making an effort to accept his actions and the toll they have taken on his supporters, realizing that dedication can easily turn into exploitation. Amid the intense atmosphere surrounding the first criminal trial of Donald Trump, Jordan Klepper, a correspondent for The Daily Show, returned to the streets. This time, he landed outside the courtroom. Even in states they considered friendly, supporters of the previous president acknowledged their unwavering refusal to recognize any judicial rulings. Remarkably, one person acknowledged having been in the Capitol on January 6th, and had even appeared on America's Most Wanted prior to the trial commencing. The ominous tone in which Klepper conversed with supporters outside the courthouse, inquiring as to whether they were ready for a violent outburst, fascinated me. One woman said, "I want to watch how it plays out," signaling her desire to approach chaos cautiously. However, when Klepper raised the question of whether April 15th would be similar to, the lady took offense and quickly acknowledged that she had been in the nation's capital on that momentous January 6th. But she also stated that it had already been broken when we arrived, which is why you came early today to make sure you were in on the first wave. Klepper answered, "I think I've done fairly well. Rewatch America's Most Wanted while feeling a little proud of yourself." Someone said, "We got what we deserved," referring to my striking display there. Another Trump fan told Kerr that he would be better off in the Midwest or perhaps Florida, and that he couldn't possibly get a fair trial in a state like New York. The supporter was promptly informed by Klepper that Trump would soon be on trial in Florida. When Klepper persisted, he inquired as to whether the man would accept the conclusion of that specific criminal trial. After a brief moment of hesitation, the man answered with an iron grip. On Tuesday, former President Donald Trump created a stir when he uploaded a video to Truth Social. Jokingly, Jordan Klepper, guest presenter of The Daily Show, dubbed the $160 Bible, Trump's latest very classy business venture. How the item did not blow up immediately is a mystery. Jordan Klepper, in the peculiar fusion of the Constitution and the Bible, acts like a cross between Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. The Daily Show's Jordan Klepper injected his trademark humor into the discussion. I know there are those who would contend that combining the Bible and the Constitution is wrong, but you have to remember that Trump has never studied any of them. Klepper spoke sarcastically, highlighting the situation. According to Klepper, if we look at Trump's relationship with God in a more comprehensive way, it can only mean one thing. God will go bankrupt and get a 3-month prison sentence for lying on oath while making a guest appearance on the show. Klepper. The perceptive Jordan Klepper couldn't resist discussing the latest developments about former President Donald Trump with his signature wit and humor. KPP laughed. He has to pee his pants to inject some comedy into the ongoing discussions concerning Trump's public persona and the broader implications of his behavior on the right-wing bubble. Klepper underlined through his humorous remark how these degrading and insulting circumstances have the potential to breach the bubble that shields certain political figures from criticism and scrutiny. Kerr skillfully combined parody and social commentary, offering audiences a fresh perspective on the forces at play. In light of U.S. political circumstances,
essentially poop his pants. And it sounds like a joke, but what it is embarrassing to the point that there's
Humiliation.
It's complete humiliation. And I think you saw that with the midterms. Oh, Donald Trump might not be a winner. I built my identity around a man who I see as a winner.
as was expected, porn star Stormy Daniels, who faces charges related to a 2006 alleged sexual encounter with former President Donald Trump, went to testify. Miss Daniels gave a detailed account of the experience, discussing everything from Trump's silky black pajamas to his kink after getting a spanking on the bottom by a magazine.
Daniels testified that when she first entered Trump's hotel suite, he greeted her wearing silk pajamas. She says she joked that he stole Hugh Hefner's pajamas and asked him to change, which he did.
Jordan Klepper responded to her disgusting remarks, which were enough to make anyone sick to their stomach, by continuing to destroy.
That poor magazine.
Even Trump fans have started to add their voices to the chorus of critics, as one vocal opponent pointed out to Jordan. To sum up, it is impressive that Kerr recognized the cognitive dissonance immediately. Holding Trump accountable for his actions and statements can help disprove and contest his claims and hyperbole. Jordan Klepper was able to apply his great use of logic and critical thinking skills to this. Kerr demonstrated how important it is to undertake reasoned discussions and fact-checking in a political arena. In the end, Trump's angry outburst in response to Klepper's in-depth inquiries showed his inability to hold a meaningful discourse and provide rational justification for his ideas. In the end, Kerr's handling of the situation demonstrated how well logic and reason can be used to disprove false arguments and reveal contradictions. All right, that's everything for now. See you in the following video. Kerr's reputation as a major figure in the political comedy and satire genres has undoubtedly been cemented by his artistic talent. I'm going to miss you.